Hi, my name is Michael.G and have another video, and this is about the Spirit. The law is spiritual, and the direction we're heading in this is that now more clarity has been coming with my other videos regarding Jesus's from above, and those that are in the darkness are from below. Jesus above, those from darkness from below. We can also see this as we are we become the lampstand. We become like the lampstand. So we have God the Father, Jesus, the masculine will and mind, the feminine feeling, emotions, and physical body. This is the order that God had set everything up. So if you're going to look at this, God, Jesus, will, mind, feeling, emotions, physical body within a person, and if you have man and woman, what did Eve was made from the rib. So man was separated in that he is more will and mind, and the woman is more feelings, emotions, and physical body. And now, towards the end of time, we're bringing together the masculine and the feminine. And then when that comes together, we have a light. And then God sees us as a wheat. What does the devil want to do? The devil wants to destroy the light and bring everyone to darkness. And by bringing everyone to darkness, it's going to try and get the blessing. Everything is spiritual. You have to compare spiritual with spiritual. Why? Because the law is spiritual. We are from above in the mind of Christ and God. The rest of the world is from below. So the laws of men, because of the weakness of the flesh, will not bring you into the spiritual. Man is at an impasse at the Jordan River, and Jordan River is a tributary to the Dead Sea. Okay? Jordan River is a tributary to the Dead Sea. Man cannot cross into God by the will, by the mind, keeping the law. And that's why Moses could not lead them across the Jordan River. And all the adults that were taken out of Egypt, except for two, one that has a different spirit, Caleb, and Yahweh or Joshua, who brought Caleb and the children across. Okay? So, what does this mean, law is spiritual? When God said to Samuel regarding Eliab, don't look at the stature and don't the appearance. Don't look at how they look. Don't look at how they tall they are. Look at the heart. Now, what heart are we talking about? The heart of God, spirit of light. All right, let me do this another place. Okay, so we have the earth. We have man. And we have woman. Man, woman. Let us make man in our image. The way we treat the woman and the way the woman treats the man, we will get to see if you are light or darkness. When people get married, they think they're married. because people have ulterior motives for getting married. If the spirit, if the spirit is not above, then someone is deceiving someone. Now I'm going to show you a real. I hate saying I'm going to show you, because there's nothing that can be seen here unless you have the Spirit of God, the light, inside of you. There's nothing, because my arguments can make these arguments really as strong can be, but it does not matter. It is not going to bring someone into the knowledge of the truth. So we're going to go to John 8 for a second. And we're going to see something interesting when we're talking about the adulterous woman. So Jesus here is talking about the truth and the liars. He's in all of John 8, and he starts off with the adulterous woman. Why would they be combined? Well, wait till you see this. And at dawn, the morning. Dawn is interesting, because when you see dawn, that could be the first light. When you see dawn, that could be the light of the new day of Christ. In this case, dawn. And again to the people and at dawn he came again to the temple, and all the people were coming unto him, and having sat down, he was teaching them. This is a picture of the cross. This is a picture of the cross. Why? Because later Jesus tells us who is the devil. He tells us who is the truth. Now, we're going to see something really interesting, and I'm pretty sure that this is not, people don't see this. People were coming unto him, and having sat down, he was teaching them. And the scribes and the Pharisees bring unto him a woman having been taken in adultery. And having set her in the midst, they say to him, Teacher, this woman was taken in the very crime, committing adultery. And in the law, Moses did command us that such should be stoned. Now, first question, where is the man? Where is the man that this woman committed adultery with? Okay, has not been told yet, okay? Just think about that. They say unto him, Teacher, this woman was taken in the very crime, committing adultery, and in the law Moses did command us as such to be stoned. Thou therefore, what dost thou say? And this they said, trying him. Now, they're tempting Jesus here. They're giving Jesus between a rock and a hard place. The spirit is if thou be, show us. So they wanting to give Jesus a no way out situation, trying him that they might have to accuse him. And Jesus, having stooped down with the finger of God. Now keep that in mind. When you see this finger and he was writing on the ground, this is when Jesus is writing the 10 Commandments. Is a big deal with the finger writing on the ground, okay? He's writing the 10 Commandments. You have to look at the analogous of whatever is going on, because the whole Bible is analogous. You could say that those 8 can also be, or 9 or 10, or how many of them they are. Those people that brought that adulterous woman, they're like the accusers, okay? They're like the spirits that made the adulterous woman do what she did, and you're going to come and see this in a second. And when they continued asking him, having bent himself back, he said unto them, The sinless of you, let him first cast the stone at her. The sinless, without sin, without lies. Now, there's 2 parts to this. Number 1, all those men that brought her caught in adultery, from what I'm reading here, they were the ones that had sex with her or committed adultery with her. They are the ones. And they did it intentionally, and they did lots of it. Why? Because they're using their intent, their spirit is to use the woman and in such a way that they are destroying her so that they can have a way at Jesus. You got to look at the spirit. What's going on? What's the spirit of those people that are bringing that woman caught in adultery? And since the man is not there, they are protecting that man, or they are all the men. And one other thing too, when some people say that Jesus was a Jew, well, if they protected a different person, then why didn't they protect Jesus before he was crucified? And they handed him over. Jews don't hand over Jews to go get crucified. They would try and save their own people. And that's another reason why Jesus is not king of the Jews. Okay, bent himself back. The sinless of you first cast a stone at her, and again having stooped down, he was writing on the ground, writing the 10 commandments. He's actually writing the commandment about adultery. And they having heard, and by conscience being convicted, were going forth. What's convicting them? The Spirit. The Spirit of truth convicts us. And people rationalize the Spirit, the truth. Everything that you do, you have to have the Spirit is bearing witness with you. If your spirit is not bearing witness to you, if your spirit is not bearing witness for you and letting you just run amok and just do whatever you want to do, you're also separated. These people that brought her there, they were her accusers. Now, they're not off the hook, because later they're the ones that tried to stone Jesus. But for now, let's keep going. And again, having stooped down, he was writing on the ground, and having heard, and by conscience being convicted, were going forth one by one, having begun from the elders unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. And Jesus, having bent himself back, and having seen no one but the woman, said to her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? All those men that had, let's say in this case, had sex with her to prove that she was the adulterous woman, they, by using her, by using her for their purpose, they ended up putting her in a position where she is in front of truth. She is standing in front of truth. And not only that, the accusers of the law can't condemn her now. They can't cross the Jordan River. They can't get to the light. Because by getting Jesus to fail, they were, in a sense, trying to bring themselves into the light. They're gone, and she is there before the light, with the light. Where are those thine accusers? Did no one pass sentence upon thee? And she said, No one, sir. And Jesus said to her, Neither do I pass sentence on thee. Be going on, and no more sin. Now, this no more sin is more accurate than how the King James has it, like sin no more. No more sin. There is no more lies. She's in the light. She's in the light now. Again, therefore, Jesus spake to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Why would Jesus say, I am the light of the world, right after the adulterous woman? Because the light of the Spirit is different than the darkness. Those that are, the bondwoman is not going to be, Hagar and her children are not, Hagar and her children are what you saw here, the accusers. Those that are trying to force you to keep the law by your will. The law is spiritual. We have to protect our spirit. The Spirit will bring us to the truth. She was standing in front of truth, and the very next word after that, again, therefore, Jesus spake to them, saying, I am the light of the world. He who is following me shall not walk in darkness. The ones walking in the darkness were those accusers, because they were trying to demonstrate the fruits of keeping the law by the will, and it didn't work. They can't get into heaven with that. They can't get into with God. And the thing is, keep in mind, Jesus came from heaven. He came down. The chosen of God, in a sense, are like Adam. They are placed on the earth, sin, and then with the Spirit rise back up. Because Adam, the second Adam, is Jesus. And for us, it's an image of us, how we are before the life-giving Spirit inside is awakened. Okay? So it's not that someone can become the light by their will. It's when they come before Jesus, the accusers are brought there, then they see the light. You can't see the light if you're in darkness. Where did the women go? Where did the men go that accused her? They left the light. They went back to their darkness because they're trying to keep the law. They're trying to get to the light by the law, and you can't do it. Moses told you can't do it. Moses even hit the rock. The law even hit the rock, which is Christ Jesus. Some things I'm taking for granted that you've read in the Bible. All my videos will all tie back into this. So you could watch like videos of mine from 5 years ago. They're going to come back to this place. Or you can come see a video now, and from 5 years ago, they'll go back, because everything is layered. It's layered. And it's layered, and it all points back to thy will be done. The light, that's the will of God, the light. And we bear witness to the light because we see the light. The law on the land is that, is the I do law. The Spirit, the children of the land will do the I do. The children of the Spirit is I am. I do, I am. What did those people went after the adulterous woman? They wanted to convict her on what you're supposed to do. I do. What did Jesus say? The 2 commandments. The entire Bible is wrapped up in 2 commandments. Love the Lord thy God with all thy might. Okay, so who is the Lord thy God? Light and truth. And the second has to do with your brother. So, what are you going to do with your brother? You're going to share the truth. Why are these laws different than the man's laws on the land? Because Jesus was from above. And those are from below that have the land laws. Hagar's laws on land are different than God's laws from above. They are different. And because they are different, those on the land, which we can embody with the Jews and the Greeks, okay, the liars, and worldly wisdom, fail. They fail. They can't see the reign of the heavens because they are not of God. And what the Jews tried to do is they tried to darken Adam and Eve, and this way that they would not, and then they can run the show. But what did God do? Eve brought forth Abel, and the darkness tried to kill Abel too, because Abel was the seed of the woman. They killed Abel. Jesus accused the Jews of killing the seed of the woman, even if it was 1,000 years before. It doesn't matter, 2,000 years before. That's unto this day. So Cain thought he was going to get the blessing. But then another seed came, Seth. And Seth's son was the beginning of the proclamation of Yahweh. The proclamation of Yahweh began again after with Seth's son. We are talking about spiritual warfare. Jesus' law, the command for us, has everything to do with the heavens. And if it's of the heavens, then we could see the Spirit of God and the spirit of error in all things. That's why Jesus started off after the adulterous woman to say about the light, I am the light of the world. He who is following me, following what? The light, shall not walk in darkness, but he shall have light of life. Those accusers didn't have the light of life. They had to walk away from that conversation. The Pharisees therefore said to him, Thou of thyself dost testify. Thy testimony is not true. Jesus answered and said to them, And if I testify of myself, my testimony is true, because I have known whence I came and whither I go. Now, I'm always reading John 8, because John 8 can have thousands and thousands of layers in it. So now we're going to look at a difference in John 8 that I haven't touched on in other videos, because they're all at the same. Like every word of the Bible can tie into thousands of words, and every chapter can tie into thousands of chapters. And one of my favorite is John 8. I came whether ye have not known whence. They don't know where he came. The Pharisees, you see, our understanding has to be above, our righteousness has to be above the scribes and the Pharisees. Because the scribes and the Pharisees, watch this, they have the law of Moses that they don't even follow. They even made like a new book about it called the Talmud, Talmud, Talmud. That's wet dirt. Wet dirt. Okay, so the scribes and Pharisees, law of Moses, Jesus, above, they have no idea where he came from. The scribes and the Pharisees have no idea because they're reading the scripture without light. That's why if you don't have the Son, you don't have the Father, because the Father is the Father of lights. The Father of lights. And the analogous is the sun, and we see that in Malachi, the rising of the sun unto you. The rising of the sun to them is going to be the heat and the burning. The rising to us is light. This is why this is the wheat. And where does it go? It is taken into God's storehouse. Where does this go? Burned. So they're not going to know where Jesus goes. Now, here we keep going now. Ye have not known whence I come. They don't know he came from heaven, because what did Jesus say to Nathanael? Born from above. It's not born again. It's born from above. The language that Nathanael was talking to Jesus is born from above. That's why Nathanael said, the Son of God from above. Ye, according to the flesh, do judge. I do not judge anyone. See, they're judging on the flesh. Jesus is judging on the spirit. That woman, the adulterous woman, was used by those people to try and curse and find an error with Jesus. So that's what devils do. They purposefully go out of their way to corrupt you. And this is exactly where you get the rich men and the Chad-looking guys. Because of the way they look, they won't keep the woman. They go through all these different women and they corrupt them. Similarly, the very attractive woman does the same thing. And what is these OnlyFans women? They're corrupting the men because they're falling into the desire of the very beautiful woman, and then they lose their sense of self. Okay, I do not judge anyone. And even if I do judge. My judgment is true. Why is Jesus' judgment true? Because he's from the light. Because I am not alone. But I and the Father who sent me. Similar lights. They have both light. They're together. These are darkness who he's talking to. And sent me. And also in your law it hath been written that the testimony of two men are true. I am who is testifying of myself and the Father. Now, the Father is testifying of the Son by how the Son is also confounding them in the Scriptures. That's the thing. They don't even understand what they're reading in the Scriptures. They have no idea because they don't have the power of the light of the Father. I am the one who is testifying of myself, and the Father who sent me doth testify of me. Right. The Father's testifying of the light. Even Moses said it to them. Beware the Spirit. You know, it's not gonna. You're gonna have a problem. I forgot where that is. I think it's. I'll put it in another video. They said, therefore, to him, where is thy Father? They can't even see the light. There's no way that they could see it because they're blinded. But they think they see, and that's what makes them worse. Because if they think they see the light, that means they're in darkness. So they look at Jesus like a demon, because from their perspective of darkness, they look at the light like the light is bad, and that's what we have today. The darkness is everywhere, and if you tell the truth, you're a demon. If you try and fight for the righteousness of truth for anything, you're vilified. They'll throw you in jail. You'll lose your jobs. You'll have everything, in a sense, taken away from you. Do you think me talking the way I'm doing that my customers are running to give me jobs? What do you think? Had taken a big loss in income because I started making all these videos. Of course I know they Google me. Of course. I'm all over the place. And I'm the only person that has my last name. So it's not like you'll find another Michael and try and play it off. This is what happens. They judge the truth as a lie, and they judge the lie as the truth. That's why liars love each other. That's why they love actors and actresses. That's why everybody glorifies them, because those are liars. They got to be the top shelf of the people because they're liars, or money. Okay, they said therefore to him, where is thy Father? Jesus answered, ye have neither known me nor my Father. They never had the light. No truth in them. If me ye had known, my Father also ye had known. You see, if they knew the Father, they would have seen Jesus. They would have seen Jesus. That's why the disciples immediately said, oh, this is Messiah. We found him. And what did they say? Son of God, regarding Jesus. King of Israel. And what did the Jews say? Oh, well, he's, king of the Jews until we get him to the crucified. And then right before we crucify him, oh, no, we have no king. Forked tongue. Whatever is, that's why it's a divided, the house divided. That's why the Bible, they're trying to identify with Jesus, but they love telling you Jesus is a Jew, but he's not. They love saying it. They love to say that. And Jesus said he's not. He said it before Pilate. Anyway, we don't have much time. This is going to be a big video. If ye had known, my Father also had known. These sayings spake Jesus in the treasury, teaching in the money area in the temple, and no one seized him because his hour had not come. He has not become visible so that to be taken at this point. Therefore said Jesus again to them, I go away. The light goes away, and ye will